All right, welcome back again to our Food Innopolis International Symposium 2021. We are moving forward to our next session. This will be the IdeaTalk, Food That Functions. We have 4 of the very interesting stories to tell, okay? Let's start with the first one, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the topic of nutrition without compromise and will be presented by Chaiyapat Ongsri, Director of Ajinomoto Company Thailand Limited. Please welcome.
Good morning, dear all participants. My name is Chaiyapat. I'm representative from Ajinomoto Company Thailand Limited, affiliate company of Ajinomoto Company Incorporation Japan. It's a great pleasure to share our contribution to consumer and food industry in this Food That Functions session. Since there is no Q&A, so if there will be any inquiry, please feel free to contact my email, which is on the first page of this presentation. My topics today is nutrition without compromise. And first of all, I would like to share Ajinomoto Group 2030 vision. We, Ajinomoto Global, would like to contribute to greater wellness for people worldwide, resolving the food and health issue. For commitment to promote better health and life that align with the vision, by year 2030, we will help to extend the healthy life expectancy of 1 billion people by providing products and information that support consumers in enjoying nutritious and delicious food, with nutrition without compromise as basic policy on our approach to nutrition. First, we will support practical of delicious salt reduction using umami. Second, to provide nutritious products to contribute to people wellness. Third, to support consciousness and behavior change of consumers by providing information that support health and nutrition improvement. Fourth, to improve nutrition literacy of groups employees. Have a look at this model. To achieve the central model of well-balanced meal, we do both by product and information. You can see on the left side, we would like to promote delicious salt reduction using our products today that in the later slide I will explain to you, and also to promote the protein intake optimization on the upward. This one, we can promote also information for vegetable and fruit intake promotion and protein intake promotion from variety of source. I will touch a bit for Ajinomoto Thailand. In this slide, we have vision to be most reliable food company in Thailand and to contribute to happiness of Thai society with the Ajinomoto share value outcome. This business model is to create and clarify, expand value unique to Ajinomoto Group that can share with society. On the left-hand side, we will create social value by resolution of social issue, and at the same time to create economic value using the products. So this is not the CSR model because this is business model to create new economy value. At the same time, we have to resolve the social issue. I will move a bit to the Thailand situation on nutrition, especially what I have already mentioned about the salt. Looking in this picture, we can see Thai people suffering from NCD or non-communicable disease. We have the data starting of year 12, and in this data show until year 16, but you can really imagine the upward trend doesn't change. Actually, the graph is being more vertical when compared until the latest information of year 20. And why? Because Thai intake of salt is 13.5 grams per day. This is so contrast with WHO recommendation, which recommend 5 grams per day for one people consumption. This create a lot of problem. I think many people who attend this session also, you know this information quite well. Why this happen? Thai people tend to have many meals per day and eat more sweet and salty taste. We consume less fruit and veggie, especially for Bangkok and urban people. We have less self-cooking at home, which is the key reason why Thai people consume more sodium. Again, if we look, as I explained, number of meals, this means we have maybe snack or 1 or 2 or more meals in the day, not only staple meals, 3 as we ever in the past. And also one people, they can both be sweetness lover and saltiness lover. So this will double the impact of negative health. And we can see, as I explained, less consumption of fruit and vegetable per day. Move to this number out of home. This is represent the Bangkok and urban, not all country. However, I like to focus this issue. Out of home is 50%. Of course, during the COVID pandemic, this number might be changed, but in the future, it can return to this average line. In home, consumption or dining is only 48%. And we can assume 48% does not come from self-cooking. Maybe it's takeaway included in here. So 32.2% of Thai population, or 19 million people, are overweight, which is the cause of NCD. And from the body mass index survey of Thai population, 28.3% of male and 40.7% of female having obesity condition, which BMI more or equal to 25. If you remember, medical doctor and public health officer always recommend Thai to control the BMI in the range of 18 to 23 because our smaller body structure when compared to global. And only 37% of Thai have knowledge about health knowledge perception regarding the health issue. This is lower than global at which rate at 51%. You can see clearly from this chart and this bar chart. And when Thai people lost weight, some people want to control or lower their weight. Maybe we do not care much about the nutrition balance and balanced meal consumption. Wrong understand that weight loss equal to good health. So what is our solution? Ajinomoto, MSG, Roti flavor seasoning, powder and cube, and Birdie ready to drink canned coffee are already household names. But today I will share who we are in terms of technology. You will see in these 3 layers. First layer, research and development. Ajinomoto have the biotechnology, which include fermentation, isolation, and engineering. And at the same time, we also do the food technology. In the middle line, for the business unit of the company, we have 4 business units on food ingredients, food specialty, food seasoning, quick nourishment, including 2 departments, food business. One is instant noodle, which is huge business in Thailand, and also for frozen food, but mainly in this category, we export to our mother company in Japan. And the products we have, as you can see on the lower line. I will explain a little bit more. In this graphic, the top row show health value-added products such as low sodium, 50% reduction of Roti low sodium. Birdie, which is also Thailand #1 ready-to-drink canned coffee. Recently, we gained significant growth in low and no sugar segment. However, these products are only optional picks for consumer. As a responsible corporation, we need to create more impact solution to resolve the health and well-being in nutrition issue. On the low end here, you can see food specialty ingredients. I will introduce solution for food manufacturer that explain why we can say nutrition without compromise. In the previous slide, we saw facts and impact of excessive salt consumption, which impact health of Thai. For regulators and salt tax can be assumed to be one of challenging countermeasure to change eating behavior, but we estimate consumer will not be happy if they pay higher price with less taste satisfaction. I'm not talking about us manufacturer, even though we will know reformulation and R&D cost will increase. A little bit facts in this slide, MSG has 2/3 less sodium when compared to table salt, and the umami function. Umami can act as savory enhancer. So in basic theory, effect of umami on salt present, umami allow the salt content to be reduced without compromising taste, and reduction of salt by 30%. Still, we can keep palatability. These slides will come to the product. For food manufacturer, we would like to say this is the solution. And the name is Salt Answer trademark. And we have the word Chem. This is same as the saltiness in Thai. We can already know the health effect from excessive salt consumption, which bring the NCD. And as I have already mentioned, salt tax, this one is aimed to be behavior changing, but cost will be bear both for manufacturer and consumer. The impact of entrepreneur and consumer about salt reduction products, we can see as the manufacturer, cost for product reformulation and research will increase because salt is the cheapest ingredient, and salt replacement finally increase raw material costs, and we may have to pay the salt tax in the future. And for consumer, product taste and quality has changed when we reduce the salt. We can solve the issue for salt reduction by using amino acid technology. Once we boost pop saltiness with our solution, at the same time, spicy note and hotness will be boosted. That shows spicy can enhance saltiness. And at the same time, this is cost effectiveness because once we use this salt answer, percentage of ingredient to boost to show the spiciness and salt and hotness can be reduced. You can find more information of this product by scanning the QR code here or write me the email. I am willing to give more information about this product. Second one, even though Ajinomoto is globally well known for our umami product line, also we have the solution for the sweetness. Ajinomoto is pioneer of kokumi. Kokumi substance is the tripeptide that function flavor enhancement, mouthfeel improvement, sugar light taste enhancement, and off flavor masking. We want to reduce the health risk from high sugar intake. This fact is quite terrifying. Thai consumer intake 25 teaspoons of sugar per day, while recommendation from WHO is only 6 teaspoons per day. And even though we know the function of sweetener that has been using for the food manufacturer, including our company, using the sweetener. Sweetener provides sweetness, but it has different profile from sugar. Sweet answer will resolve this issue by improving the mouthfeel and improve the profile of sweetness, and at the same time marks up the unpleasant off-note flavor. Next product, this one we call Activa and Tenjo. This is registered trademark. As we all know, we can help protein intake for those people who prefer alternative protein, such as plant-based food, as we can see growing demand in this area. Key challenge of plant-based meats were bitterness from soy, strong odor, less delicious and less fibrous texture. So plant-based meat cannot be in the equal quality with the real meat. Ajinomoto approach to improve meat-like sensation in plant-based meats by taking the function in both taste part and texture part. In the taste part, amino acid technology, we improve taste and aroma by Tenjo. Meaty, juiciness, and umami can be achieved by Tenjo. And the texture part, the enzyme technology, we improve the texture. It provides good fibrous textures, improve firmness, and well-formed shape. Sorry, what happened? I would like to come to the key takeaway of today. I think those slides can confirm you all to have a well-balanced meal with deliciousness by the power of amino acid and get the nutrition without compromising the joyful of taste, flavor, and texture with the food solution from Ajinomoto that function. Thank you. For further information, please feel free to send me email, which already mentioned on the first slide. We will be pleased to provide you the detailed information to support your business. Thank you.
ขอบคุณครับ Thank you very much คุณ Chaiyapat for your presentation, and that's I really do think that you point out a lot of good points. Ajinomoto is committing to promote better health and life for the people, as Kun Chaiyapat mentioned. Thai consume salt averagely 13.5 grams per day, and that is a lot because compared to the number that WHO has suggested, it's only 5 grams per day that we should consume salt. So 13.5 is almost triple the amount of that. And also, Ajinomoto also emphasized that 19 million or 32.2% of the population in Thailand are now being considered as overweight, and that causes NCDs, of course. So its commitments include supporting practice and delicious salt deduction using umami factor instead, providing nutritious products to contribute to people's wellness, and also to support consciousness and behavior change of consumer by providing the information for the people. Thank you so much for this session. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we talk about salt already, we are moving forward to our next session. A different perspective on salt. Is salt always the culprit? This will be presented by Dr. Saoraya Chanmuang, Senior Researcher, Institute of Agriculture and Life Science, Gyeongsang National University, Republic of Korea. The stage is yours.
Okay. I am a researcher, and most of my research is about salt and the metabolic disease. And most of my study is on the animal study, such as rats and mice. Today, I would like to share part of my research. It would be another point of view to see the salt that you will never look at it this way before. Salt is a mineral that is very important to our body, and many people know salt as a food additive. And in fact, the salt have been used in another industrial example. In US, they use the salt in winter transport industry. The use is to control ice and road stabilization. And as Kun Chaiyapat say, The excessive salt make a bad result in our body. It's not only increase high blood pressure, but is effect from our brain to our gut. So many of health institutes recommend us to reduce the salt from our food. Until in the 2013, the committee of the Institute of Medicine, they published the assessments of evidence about sodium intake in population. They found that the evidence on salt intake, low salt intakes and health outcome is not consistent. Why is they estimate like that? Because many of research show that many of low salt diet cause a bad effect to our body. Example, in 2012 of American Journal of Hypertension, they find that low salt intake may reduce your blood pressure, but it increase a lot of another factor of cardiovascular disease. So I will show you a graph of the relationship between the salt intake and the risk. If we follow the recommendation, we will got the linear line as the graph B, that if we intake high salt, we will got high risk. But if we intake low salt, we got low risk. But in reality, it's not be like that. The research show that it's gonna be J-shaped curve like this. And the difficult thing to study on salt is the result is not consistent. I will show you this graph I made it easier to understand. Example, if I study about salt intake and vascular disease, I may get the red line J curve like this. But if I study of a salt intake on the diabetes, I may got the blue shape J curve like this. You will see that a lowest risk point of each research is different. This is why we cannot say exactly amount of salt that how much we should eat a day. And our group concerned about this and try to find the solution. When we don't know exactly how much we should eat, it's better to decrease overall risk down as the green line. And we think about in the world, we have a lot of many types of salt in the world, especially in Korea. The most salt that they use is the solar salt. The solar salt is the salt that evaporates naturally by the sunlight and the wind. You can imagine of the Samut Sakhon salt in Thailand. This salt will contain about 96% of sodium chloride, and it contains a lot of trace minerals such as magnesium, calcium, and potassium. And another salt is from another salt like salt brine and rock salt. Those kind of salt will pass through the purification process. So the purity of this salt will be very high, and it contains almost 99% of sodium chloride without other mineral. So we test our hypothesis that maybe different salt can give different outcome. We choose solar salt which have other mineral, and the purified salt which have only sodium chloride. And we perform the experiment in the salt sensitive rat. We divide the rats into 3 groups, and the control group we give the normal diet, and the SS and PS group we give the diet containing 8% of solar salt or purified salt. And we do this for 4 weeks. You can see that in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, the solar salt group give significantly lower blood pressure than than the purified salt group. This is can suggest that our hypothesis may be possible. So we look at another salt in Korea that's very, very specific and interesting. It is the bamboo salt. The bamboo salt is the salt that they use as the folk medicine for a long time in Korea. The benefits of this salt are published by Dr. Kim Eun-hoon in 1986, and they continuously use this salt in this country. And many of research groups very interesting on this salt, and they publish a lot of its benefit. Example is proof like it have anti-tumor property, anti-gastric ulcer, anti-oxidation, and it suppress local skin disease reaction. And nowadays, this salt is the most expensive salt in the world. It costs $100 to $200 per 250 grams. Why it is very expensive? Because this salt is not easy to produce. They use solar salt from the Yellow Sea in Korea because they believe that in the Yellow Sea have contain a lot of benefit compound, and they use 3 to 5 year old bamboo with the specific clay. To produce it, they put the salt in the bamboo tube and cover it with the clay, then burn it at over 800 degrees with the pine wood, and the result will be like this. The bamboo will gone, and they will cut the salt tube, and they crash this salt tube to the powder and put in the bamboo tube again, and they repeat burning it for 8 times. And after 8 times, it will look like this. And then the final burning, they increase the temperature to more than 1,200 degrees Celsius, and this make the salt melt completely to the liquid form, and they collect and let it cool down, and this will be the result. And then they crush it into a very, very small part, and like they make a size that they need. You can see that from the beginning of the process to the end product, they use more than 30 to 45 days to produce this salt. So this is why it is very expensive. And this product is a good example for research-based product, because they use the scientific data support their product to develop another product, and they design the product based on the scientific data. Example, the data show that it have antibacterial, so they make a toothpaste, and with the data of anti-skin disease, they make a product line of the skincare. And more than this, they put the bamboo salt on many of normal food. If you are the fan of Korean drama, you will know the gochujang, the chili paste, and the doenjang, the soybean paste. And they make even salt tablets and salt solution. You can feel the powerful of the research can support the product from one product, bamboo salt, to develop many of other products. This is why we are choosing the bamboo salt to continue test our hypothesis, and we perform experiments as same as before. Like we compare the bamboo salt and the solar salt, and you can see that the solar salt, the bamboo salt group the blood pressure is not increased in the first 2 weeks and is slightly increased after 2 weeks. And this is show clearly that bamboo salt gives lower blood pressure than solar salt. And we even study deep more about why the blood pressure is lower. This is the result of vascular relaxation. The more relaxation means lower blood pressure. If you see, this is the best line is the control group, which show the best relaxation ability, and is followed by bamboo salt and the solar salt and the purified salt. This is the this result can give you an idea that is not only the amount of salt that you should be concerned, but the type and the quality of the salt is also important. And I would be glad if you can use my information as an idea to produce your product. Okay, I will finish my presentation at this slide. Thank you for attention.
Thank you so much for your presentation. That is really interesting, and I've literally never looked at it this way before, like you said. We have heard it all before that excessive salt intake will cause a lot of health problems from our brain to our guts, like you said. But Dr. Saoraya explained that low salt intake can affect our body in a very negative way as well, especially, for example, cardiovascular disease. However, how much salt we can consume or we should consume is still questionable. For example, the bamboo salt that I have never heard before can be very beneficial as it anti-tumor, anti-gastric, also antioxidant, and suppress local skin reaction. That can be very interesting too. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have two more of the speakers in this session to go. Let's move on to our third topic, which is going to be from the team leader of KITA, a Thai aerospace engineering team, which is one of the 10 aerospace engineering teams qualified for the first phase of NASA's Deep Space Food Challenge. The topic for this one is potential technology for deep space food, presented by Dr. Chancharoen from Princess Srisavangavadhana College of Medicine, Chulabhorn Royal Academy. Please welcome.
Thank you for introducing me. My name is Chancharoen, and I'm the lecturer at the Princess Srisavangavadhana College of Medicine, Chulabhorn Royal Academy. So the topic is a little bit weird. If you would compare to other topics, it's quite interesting and weird at the same time. The topic is the potential technology for deep space food. First of all, let me introduce space business or space sector, because you could imagine that space business will be like a satellite technology or rocket launch service like SpaceX from Elon Musk. But recently, space business or space economy is not only satellite technology or launch service anymore. It will including in-orbit service, orbit something, refuel or destroy the satellite or renew the satellite. It's called in-orbit service. As well as space tourism or space hotel, as you can heard from the news, that some company will open space hotel recently. And next one, space exploration or space mining. Go to the moon, go to the asteroid to get the new valuable mineral and bring back to the Earth. But we focus on the space tourism and space hotel because food is one of the supply chain of space tourism and space hotel. It's similar with the hotel in the world. For the traditional space food, nowadays astronauts are eating food like in the toothpaste tube or in the can or some kind of cup noodle, instant noodle, and rehydrate again in space station. and that's all. Feel a food from the fresh foods like strawberry or something that have to be fresh all time. Space agency have to send to space fueling like two times a month or 2 times a week. It depends on the types of the food. And you can see it's very boring. You cannot eat toothpaste to food all time in a year, right? So recently, just last month, astronaut has been suggested to use the space gold paper and make it in the tacos, and they call space tacos. Just last month, you can see it's very new aspect for food technology, because you can plant paper long time ago on the Earth, but for the space station, for space technology, just last month, you can see very recent technology and very new topics. Apart from the gold plant in space, some space firms, some manufacturing firms want to make oven in order to make the cookie in space. You cannot imagine that you cannot use traditional oven in space station. As you can know, oven use like the heat lot or something like convection heat from the lot, infrared from the tube. All of them cannot operate in space because of lack of gravity. So it's a firm have to design new technology to just bake the cookie in space station, and that's this thing. This firm have to like R&D many times in order to make sure that this oven can bake the cookie. Apart from cookie, it's frontier technology. Some people will would heard the cell-based meat, cell-based plants or anything. Yes, in space technology, they have already successfully to launch 3D bioprinter in order to make the space beef and space meat in space station. That firm from US and from Israel, they all have been successful to develop bioprinter, and not only food, as well they can print the tissue, I mean human tissue, organ tissue, in order to replicate astronaut organ in the new future of space exploration. Then you can see that space food technology is not for the food, it's for anything about the organic substance. 3 years ago, Yakult company, I think everybody know, have launched their probiotic to space station and store in the space station 1 month and bring back to the Earth and investigate how about the efficacy of the probiotics inside. Then in the future, they can make like probiotic foods for space food, next generation space food like kimchi or natto, as well as the space Yakult might be the next generation of that product line. We cannot imagine that without R&D. This one, let me show a little bit about of the video. This company, someone know that they are the beverage of alcoholic beverage. They send the barley seeds and plants in space station. This one. Mechanisms of planting in space is quite different from Earth. Then if you want to plant something in space, you have to R&D more and more that plant will go efficiently or normally. I guess they want to make a space beer. Apart from the drink itself, cup or the thing that contain the beverage are very important. For example, if you want to drink coffee, you want to feel aromatics of the coffee, right? Not only drink caffeine and just get you wake up, but you want to get good smell from the caffeine, as well as the alcoholic liquor. You want to feel the taste or the taste of the aromatic things like wine, right? You cannot use traditional cup in space station. And someone investigate how to design cup in order to use in space station. A little bit quite weird shape. You can see in the, I can change to the laser pointer. You can see this one. This one is traditional device for astronaut to drink something like jelly, and you just squeeze it and you drink from that. It's very boring. Imagine that you drink coffee from this one. You cannot feel any aromatic thing. Sorry. Then you can see how spacecraft act in space station. Something like this. You don't need to bring it up. You just use your mouth and drink the food from the cup. Again. This one, believe it or not, is the new technology for designing the cup, and I think it would be the patent, US patent.
Aspect of this cup. It's got a cross section with
this one is, I will show this one again. How to design some kind of this shelf, the left-hand side shelf. They investigate more and more how food we have in space station, or how about the shape.
Controlling fuel inside our rocket fuel tanks. We have a series during dinner, and we're discussing all kinds of things and behaving just like people do when they get together with their.
That's for the spacecraft. Apart from the cup, definitely sometimes if you go to space hotel, sometimes you want to like celebrate or congratulate something. Champagne is one option to celebrate. Even though in the world, like, that's the problem. How to design champagne bottle.
The company has invented a way to drink champagne out of a glass in outer space. They're betting that Earth's first space tourists will also be champagne drinkers. And so they spent 3 years trying to figure out how to make this work. Because when you take away gravity, everything about champagne changes. That's why astronauts drink from squeezable.
This mechanism
The pressure of the CO2 bubbles forces out the champagne. The pressure of the CO2.
They use some secret mechanism at the bottom of the champagne bottle, and once they put out of the bottle, the bubble can release normally, even without gravity. So this design is the novelty design, and it would be the patent, US patent, global patent as well. So you can see in space R&D, everything is very new. But from now, let me take to the next generation space food. Japanese want to make space food sphere in the near future, especially on the lunar. They try to research waste management, how to plant automatically, how to plant on the moon, anything about biology things in order to make real food or farming on the lunar surface. Just 3 years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago, then you can see that it's very new. Then they want to make something like this. Lunar habitat concept consists cafeteria, multi-purpose loop, food production area, consists a lot of planting or robotic. Apart from foreign technology, and come back to the Thai technology and bring me as the speaker today. I'm the leader of the KITA team. As you know, from the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha Facebook page, he has already announced and talk about the KITA team. We are the one of the 10 of international team of a Deep Space Food Challenge winner. What is the Deep Space Food Challenge? With this Deep Space Food Challenge, we have to design system to produce food for 4 astronauts for 3 years without resupply again. And we have to reuse, reproduce, recycle the waste and everything in the ecosystem, in the just one system, in constant dimension, constant budget, constant power consumption, everything very challenging and very difficult to design. And for the theme of our team, we try to bring Thai traditional technique of food and mix with space technology together. Then we choose the review, and you can see that is the non-duang. Someone have some experience to eat this review, and it's 5 review. Definitely we use reviews, including some plants, and make it as the nutrient, make it as the preservation substance, and make it as well as the flavor. Like from the ant, we can make it as the flavor. You can see that all of technology are not exactly new, but when we merge to space technology, everything have to redesign and reconsidering again in terms of space technology. And that might be the next generation Thai space food. A little bit concept idea as I can show you as of now because it's very secreting. We have the unit plant, and that plant feed to the ant reviews and earthworm as well, and everything launched inside as the ecosystem and print out by using 3D food printer. And this is the concept idea. The next generation, the real thing will not be like this. Then we have to R&D more and more. And this is time for end of my presentation. It's time for space available for all of us. Even you are a scientist, businessman, or educators, you can join with us for space technology. And for more information, you can email me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ores, for sharing with us your very useful information, and it's really eye-opening information as well. This Kita focuses on the space hotel and tourism. That makes sense though, because it directly connects to the food production, right? Space tacos is such a very good example that you raised up, and also using the space-grown peppers, that's amazing and sounds really good. I would like to try. All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our last one for this session. This will be the trend shaping the future for functional food, drink, and supplement in Southeast Asia, and will be presented by Kun Pimwadee Aguilar, Associate Director, Thai Consumer Food and Drink Analyst of Mintel. The stage is yours.
Hello, yes. Good morning, everyone. For this session, I would like to present to you data that we have gathered in the region, Southeast Asia, about the type of consumer demands that are existing at the moment, which we believe are going to be influencing the food innovations in the future. In the previous presentations, I'm sure you have been inspired and gotten a lot of data about how to innovate food for the future. But in this presentation, may I share with you the trends that we have identified that will be shaping the future of food, drinks, and supplements in Southeast Asia, but based on consumer demands and the market activities. I will share with you three key themes which we see that are relevant to the market in the region, including Myanmar, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Cambodia, and Laos. But firstly, let's have a look at the current situation. With COVID still in the air, I think a lot of the consumers are still in fear, and this is accelerating their demands for holistic preventive healthcare. And fortunately, this is favoring the productions or the demands for functional food products, food and drink products. We can see that within the regions, there has been a very steady growth in the product launches. And the leading market is actually Vietnam, followed by Thailand as well as Indonesia. If we look based on the categories, we can see that dairy product is still the most dominant category when it comes to functional claims. But we can also see that there are other product categories like nutritional drinks and breakfast cereals that are gaining a lot of traction in the launches within the recent years. And if we look at the claims that brands are doing in order to cater to the demands of the consumers within the region, energy, bone health, digestive health are still the top 3 common functional claims within our products. However, we can see many new emerging claims that are growing, and we're focusing on, as you can see in the slides, things like probiotics, skin, nail health, as well as the immunity system, immunity boosting claims are also increasing in the recent years. And this is all to meet the demands of the consumers. Focusing on the immunity boosting foods, we can see that the demand is not only in supplements like micronutrients like vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, but we're also seeing the growth in the demands for actual natural food sources like kimchi. There has been a quick growth of kimchi sales within the recent years. And this is all because consumers are looking for ways to include more immunity boosting ingredients or food in their diet. And here we can see the data from various markets, including Thailand as well. We can see there's a very quick rise within the past 2 years. Now, even though all the brands are being so active about coming up with new functional claim and new functional food and drinks, there's still a lot of space to explore, because from the recent launches, we can see that most of the functional claims are still very concentrated in healthcare products. There's still a lot of space in the food and drink launches. So with all this information, let's have a look into what are the trends that we can see are relevant in shaping the future of functional food and drink and supplements in Southeast Asia. I have identified 3 key trends here. Focus on the power of gut, self-care, and as well as the fighting against chronic diseases. Let's have a look at the first one first. Focus on the power of gut to holistic health. We can see that now gut health is gaining the center stage, we can say, in the market because of the brand's activities that we are seeing. Like on the left of the presentations, you can see Amelie's BioMe. It's a product by a Singaporean startup. They have just launched a gut microbiota test with personalized nutrition recommendations. So for the first time, consumers can have their nutrition recommendations, which is based on the tests done on their gut microbiota. This is very interesting. And also on the right-hand side, you will also see various types of kombucha drinks that have been launched recently to meet with the demands for improvement of the gut health. Now, although kombucha is still a very niche product, but we can see that in the recent years, there have been a lot of increase in the penetration. Like on the left, Remedy Drinks. This is a brand by Australia. We can see that they have already announced the intention to expand their market to Southeast Asian markets like Vietnam as well. So this is a very interesting space to explore, especially for Thai brands as well. This is all thanks to the higher awareness consumers have about the benefit of gut health and how they're associating gut health to the holistic health, including things like immunity improvement, helping in the sleep, as well as in the weight management and improvement in the skin condition. So this is all not only driven by consumers' higher awareness of gut health, but also from the higher amount of robust studies that have been ongoing to link the benefits of gut health to the other angles of health as well. Specifically talking about the immunity health, we can see that there are many ingredients that are emerging to try to answer to the needs for immunity boosting benefits. And the most common ones we hear obviously are the probiotics and prebiotics, but postbiotic is also an interesting new ingredients that we can explore, even though it's still very niche in the market at the moment. But with the recent patent filing, we see that there is a potential to flourish this ingredients as the new ingredients to boost the immunity for consumers. Apart from looking at immunity, another very important health benefits consumers are looking into now is the mental health benefit. Because holistic health is not only about physical, mental health is becoming the new growing priority for consumers, especially when we know that COVID has put a lot of pressure mentally to our consumers. So associating ingredients like probiotic, postbiotic to the claims for improving in sleep or improving in the focus and concentration, as well as in the alleviating anxiety or depression, are going to be a very interesting space for gut health ingredients to tap into. And the last angle for gut health association would be to link gut health to skin health. We know that ingredients like probiotics, prebiotics have been very, very well studied. But at the moment, we are also seeing new studies emerging to try to see the benefits that these ingredients have to skin. So this is creating a new environment, new space for these ingredients to grow. Interestingly, we can see that a majority of consumers in Asia Pacific agree that healthy diet could be more beneficial to skin and hair than products used externally like cream and moisturizers. So with this, we can see that gut health ingredients that are consumed, or what we call the ingestible beauty products, will have a very big space to grow for consumers within the Southeast Asia region. Now, moving on to the second theme we have, it's about supporting consumers' self-care journey. Because there is a very high rise in healthcare costs, we know consumers are now becoming more aware of the fact that they have to be more self-reliant. Explained in Mintel Trend Survival Skills, we can see that consumers are becoming more interested in learning new skills, not only just about work skills or ways to find ways to relax, but they're also trying to find more information about the food and drinks and the supplements that they're taking and see which will best fit to their body needs. This is all due to the needs for consumers to try to take care of themselves without being relying on the healthcare system. Now, when it comes to self-care, there are also angles that relates to mental health, sleep, and beauty benefits as well that consumers are looking into. But these demands are still not very well met in the region. And so I think there's a very big space for brands as well as for the food innovators to try to come up with products which helps to consumers to better care for their mental well-being. Examples are things like how products that can help to alleviate stress, help to increase the productivity, alertness, as well as products to help to reduce the mental fatigue. In the middle here, you will see an example of a product called by Amazing Grace. This is a product that includes lion's mane, and it's a mushroom that claims to help to improve the brain function as well as the productivity as well. So it's a very new space that it's still very, very niche and untapped. We have a term called COVIDsomnia, which tries to emphasize the fact that at the moment consumers are having more problems with their sleep. And knowing that sleep impacts not just fatigue, but it's also impacting the overall mental health. Consumers are becoming more concerned and they need help to try to regain their quality of sleep. And at the moment, within the last 5 years, we can see only about 1% of food and drink supplement launches within the regions with sleep health benefits. So there's still a lot of food innovations that can be done in this new white space. And lastly, when it comes to self-help, looking into the skin health, it's also very, very interesting. There is an ingredient that I would like to point out into, and that is the hyaluronic acid, which has the benefit of hydrating the skin. This is a very interesting ingredient because recently in China, they have just approved to use this ingredient in the products such as like confectionery, as well as in food and drinks as well. And at the moment in the region, we don't have this yet. So it's going to be an interesting ingredient to watch to meet to consumers' demand in skin health. Lastly, I want to talk about the demands for fighting against the chronic diseases. This, I think, has been mentioned in many previous presentations. Apart from driving by the public health needs, consumers are also becoming more aware that they need to try to reduce their own risks of chronic diseases because this will put their overall health in jeopardy. And heart diabetes and obesity risks are the three key chronic diseases that they are trying to reduce the risk of having. And as you can see here, in many countries, in many markets, consumers are looking for diets that can help to reduce their lifestyle diseases. Focusing on cardiovascular diseases, we can see that there are emerging heart-healthy diets like DASH or plant-based diets that are trying to emphasize the consumption of whole grains to try to reduce the risk of heart diseases. Now, there are key ingredients that will be interesting in promoting in the regions. Things like omega-3, ALA, or adding more fiber from whole grains like barley could be an interesting way to innovate products so that we can meet the needs for better heart health. Functional nuts is also very interesting as well. Apart from just consuming nuts for satiety or as a healthy snack, promoting functional nuts that contains germinated almonds that have 40 times more GABA, for example. This is a product that was launched in Japan. It's also a new way of promoting nuts, not just as a fulfilling snack, but also as a functional snack as well. Diabetes is also another big concern of chronic disease. We can see that there are many products out there that are trying to promote the benefits of diabetic preventions. However, to stand out, there are several things that brands can do in order to meet the consumers who are fearing or who are trying to reduce their risk of diabetes. And things like combining not just the sugar reduction claim, but also combining it with the complementary nutrition benefits is a good space. Using low sugar dairy products to leverage as an affordable nutrition is also an interesting space, since we know that majority of the diabetic patients in the region are in the low and middle income countries. And lastly, looking into legumes with soluble fibers that can help to improve the insulin sensitivity is also a very interesting angle to present to the client, to the consumers today. Last point is on the obesity. Obesity, we have seen is very, very much associated with the higher risk of COVID-19. So consumers in all markets are becoming more alert about trying to find ways to maintain their weight, healthy body weight. But now in the recent years, we can see that a lot of consumers are skeptic about the claims that are on packaging or on products, because they fear that these claims might be overclaiming, or the ingredients that have been added to provide the benefits of weight reduction is going to have harm to the health as well. So in order to reduce their skepticism, brands will need to try to deliver more evidence-based weight management solutions. So linking the products to evidence-based studies like the benefits of high protein or low GI diets will help to relieve the consumers from the fear and help them to feel more confident about using these products to reach their ultimate weight management goals. So that's it for the three trends that we have. The key takeaways for this presentation is firstly on the focus of the power of the gut. Consumers have to become more aware of the multiple benefits of healthy guts, and this will influence brands to try to look into a more gut-friendly nutrients such as probiotic, fermented foods, as well as postbiotics. Support consumers' self-care journey as they are trying to take care of themselves and not being relied too much on the healthcare system. Brands will need to try to look into mental health, disruptive sleep, and skin health supports. And lastly, on keeping on the fight against chronic diseases, there are a lot of wider space for brands to try to come up with products which can help to reduce consumers' risk in diseases like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, as well as obesity. Thank you very much.